Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Enger, and today I will be talking about Earth's positioning. Now I'd like to start off by telling you why I chose this topic. Ever since I was a kid, it has always interested me. I've been amazed by how we are the only planet with life, and how we are here to stay, and how no other planet has ever come in contact with us, or how other planets around us don't even have life. And when you think about it, you mean there are planets in our solar system, and like Mars and Jupiter, Venus, Mercury. I mean, it's just unbelievable how none of those planets have life, and how we are the perfect distance away from the sun, and yet we still can live. We can do anything we want, but all the other planets aren't even close to what we have. Another thing that amazes me about this topic is that we are the only planet with resources. I mean, every planet's going to have elements inside their atmosphere, but Earth has an abundance. We have hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon, and I look at those as the necessary elements in our life, or to create life. And water is probably the most important resource you can get, well, at least to humans, and as it probably is the most efficient resource to us, allows for growth and a lot more. So back onto my main topic of the Earth's positioning. I would like to start off. So why is this topic important? Well, there are three main reasons that I could find. And to start off with, I would like to say that it allows for us to tell the distance that we are in space, how far we are from the sun, which allows for certain factors like the heat, energy, stuff like that. Next, I would like to talk about how it lets us know that we are moving, that we're not just a sitting still planet. If we know our position in Earth, then we know that we can find Mars, we can find Jupiter, any other planets out there. Third, I would like to say that with this positioning, we would be able to see what it's like on other planets, so maybe in the future we could travel to another planet like ours. I've been reading articles, and I found that, there is a planet out there that is the same distance from Earth, but doesn't have life. It's barren, dry, dead. So it's just amazing to think about, and it's very important to realize. And it really could benefit for our future if we found another planet like that. I could go on and on telling you as many reasons to why it is important to know our Earth's positioning, but today I'm going to focus on the top 5 questions that I found to help better understand why Earth's positioning is so needed. So to advance on, alright, my top 5. Alright, so on to my top 5 questions. To start, I would like to start with who was the first person to determine our positioning in our solar system? Number 2, what factors allow for life on Earth? Number 3, when was the Earth capable to sustain life? Number 4, where is the Earth located in relation to the Sun compared to the other planets? Number 5, how does Earth's axis and atmosphere keep Earth in perfect position for life? Okay, so to restate question 1, who was the first person to determine our positioning in the solar system? I would like to start off with that Earth was believed to be the center of the universe. As crazy as that may seem nowadays, back then, scientists would always put Earth in the center. No reason why. I guess Earth was just that great. It took time for scientists to shake the idea out of their head that Earth was not the center, and it all came down to one person to start. His name was Nicholas Copernicus. Now, this scientist had an idea and made a model of it. He thought that Earth and Mars, by viewing them, rotated around the sun. Now that we look at it, it is very reasonable, and he was very correct that Earth does rotate around the sun. Now, the orbit is what the hard part was, and no one could really put that into pieces until later on. But back to Nicholas, no one really believed him. It took a little while longer, several years later, when another professor or scientist, Danish astronomer named Tycho Brahe, also made a model and also concluded and backed up Nicholas that the Earth was not the center, and that the sun was the center of our solar system. All right. So next, So the next step of the solar system revolving around the sun was that of making laws. Now, no laws have been put into place, just the models I explained. It took several more years until laws were made. And this man, Johannes Kepler, was the first to look at, was the first father of the laws. Okay, so he discovered the Earth's positioning through mathematical equations. He came up with a total of 3 laws, and these 3 laws are still used today, and we've been using them a lot in class lately. So to start, Law 1: planets move in elliptical orbits with the sun. Law 2: the speed of a planet varies because of their orbit. Number 3: the amount of time a planet takes to orbit the sun is related to its orbital size. These 3 laws are the basics behind the laws that came afterwards. Alright, so when you think about it, he was the father, and everyone builds off his. You got Wien's Law and several others that were built off of his. So why is it important? How can you use these laws to discover Earth's positioning? Well, to start off, we needed to know our distance from the sun. That was very important. It helps us find out how hot the rays are coming in on Earth's atmosphere. You know, it's very important. But also by the color of the star, it will help us determine our positioning, as we can view the star as yellow, which is moderate. So it's not too hot, not too cold. It's pretty perfect, honestly. Now, orbits will also help with Earth's positioning. You think about it like this: it takes 365 days for Earth to travel around the sun once. So that means other planets are going to have orbits as well that are going to take shorter or longer times. Now, down from the most inner planet all the way to the most outer planet, there will be a variation in times. Inner planets have shorter times, while farther planets have longer times. Pretty basic. It also helps with. These laws are necessary for Earth's positioning. From here, we will be going on to question 2. What factor allows for life on Earth? I believe that the sun is the most important factor for life on Earth. The reason why I believe this is because he is probably most vital for keeping our bodies stable, warm, so we don't die. When looking at this, you have to see that the rays from the sun go through the atmosphere to the Earth to keep the Earth's surface and core warm. The heat from the sun is needed for the whole entire Earth, not just for one part. We might think that, it's just needed for the crust. No, it is more than just that. The rays are very important. When it reaches the surface, it begins to heat the entire Earth all the way through. Alright, the sun also provides life as it gives energy to living creatures. The sun rays can be harmful in some cases. It can be harmful in some cases, allowing for sun radiation, which leads to cancer. No one wants that. It's not good. So the atmosphere also is a factor needed for life. So the sun and the atmosphere are the 2 main things that I believe are needed. On to question number 3. When was the Earth capable to sustain life? Now that's a pretty good question, considering a lot of people tend to overlook that part of the Earth as not a part of development because there were no records. So the first fossil record was found 3.5 billion years ago. Earth didn't form until 4.6 billion years ago. So over the time difference, it was about a billion years until life was actually able to step foot on planet Earth. So when it was forming, it took a lot of time for it to cool. And then life, blue-green algae, which was the first life form, started to form. From there it escalated, we got bacteria, and then, process of evolution, eventually we came about. Well, the Earth is still cooling down today, and it's just crazy to see from all the way back when, 4.6 billion years, to now, how the world has really changed, and it's cool to see. Now that we have finished up with question 3, we will be moving on to question 4, which restated is, where is the Earth located in relations to the Sun compared to the other planets in our solar system? Alright, so when looking at this, the Earth's position compared to others is extremely different, as we all can tell. The best way to compare if a planet is sustainable versus if it's not is by looking at the distance of the planet. So, Earth's positioning, we have from the asteroid belt, Mars inward. Outward planets, you go from asteroid belt, so Jupiter, outward. We're going to start with the inner planets, which in comparison are more like Earth compared to the outer ones. So the inner planets have a more drier atmosphere and are more likely to sustain life, but are incapable of doing so because of the sun. The sun's rays destroy their atmospheres, creating a different planet, a hotter, intenser planet, which for humans would be impossible to live on. Mars, on the other hand, is is farther outside of Earth, but still considered an inside planet because of the asteroid belt. But when looking at Mars, we can make so many comparisons to Earth. They've been trying to find traces of water on the planet for years. Space travel with the rovers and gathering as much information as possible on Mars to see if we're going to need that in the future. Well, we're still waiting on results to figure out if it would ever be capable, if it did hold water at one point, or if it could have life. So Mars is probably the most comparable compared to any other planet. Moving on to the outer planets, you have Jupiter on out, which are mainly gaseous planets. Their orbits are so far out compared to Mars and inward that it takes a longer time. Sun rays are going to take longer to get to those planets, so they're going to be cooler, cold, gaseous, and the size difference is just unbelievable. You look at all the inner planets, and they are small in size, extremely, compared to like the Jupiter, Saturns, Uranus, Neptunes, and their gravity, like Earth's gravity, isn't as strong as those. The bigger the planet, the stronger the gravity. It's collected more over the years. Cores are stronger. It would be impossible for humans to ever live on there. And compared to Earth, we are lucky to have the gravity that we have. We are lucky to have the sun that we have. We are lucky to have no atmosphere destroyed due to the sun's rays or being too close or too far out of orbit. So this question is great to know, and it's a big reason to why we are where we are today. And Earth's positioning is perfect. Alright, lastly, question number 5. How does Earth's axis and atmosphere keep Earth in perfect position for life? Alright, first off, I would like to state that Earth is at a 23.5 degree tilt. This causes for seasons and for the sun's rays to hit more than just one spot of the Earth. Sun rays, like I said earlier, are very crucial for life as they will heat up the Earth and help us live, okay? So, from that, I will go on to the atmosphere because the sun's rays must enter through something or else they'd be too harmful. So, the atmosphere will break up the rays and it is made up of four layers, which are the meso, thermo, strato, and troposphere. Now these 4 layers will, like I said, break up the rays, make sure that we are protected, keep in elements that we need for life. It is very important that we have this. Other planets do not have this. They are not able to sustain life and keep out the harmful elements and radiation poisoning that we could get. Alright, well that seems to be the end of my video, and I will conclude with this. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hope you learned more about Earth's positioning. Alright, thank you everyone. Enjoy.